Ever notice your Wi-Fi becomes painfully slow at night? Videos buffer, games lag, Zoom calls freeze, and sometimes your internet randomly disconnects for no reason. Here's the surprising part. Your internet speed might not be the problem. In many homes, the real issue is something called Wi-Fi interference. And today, I'll show you one simple router setting that can dramatically improve your Wi-Fi speed and stability in just a few minutes. No expensive upgrades, no tech expertise, and no new router required. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to optimize your Wi-Fi like a pro. Before changing any settings, always start with the simplest fix. Restart your router. Most routers run continuously for weeks or even months without rebooting. Over time, temporary software glitches and memory overload can reduce performance. Here's what to do. Unplug your router from power. Wait around 20 to 30 seconds, then plug it back in. This clears temporary issues and refreshes your connection. You'd be surprised how often this alone fixes random Wi-Fi problems. But if your connection is still slow or unstable, the next step is where things get interesting. Wi-Fi works using radio frequencies. Think of it like radio stations in your city. If too many stations broadcast on the same frequency, everything becomes noisy and chaotic. The exact same thing happens with Wi-Fi. Every nearby router, including your neighbors, uses wireless channels to communicate. And when too many routers use the same channel, signals begin to overlap. That creates interference. The result? Slower speeds, higher latency, weak connections, and random disconnects. This problem is especially common in apartments, dorms, and crowded neighborhoods where dozens of Wi-Fi networks compete for space. Now here's the important part. Most routers are set to auto channel by default. Sounds smart, right? But many routers choose crowded channels anyway. That means your Wi-Fi could be fighting against multiple neighboring networks every single day. Luckily, you can manually choose a cleaner channel for much better performance. There are two main Wi-Fi bands used in most homes, 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. The 2.4 GHz band travels farther, but it's slower and more crowded. The 5 GHz band is faster and cleaner, but it has shorter range. Inside these bands are smaller lanes called channels. You can think of them like lanes on a highway. If everyone drives in the same lane, traffic becomes slow. But if you move to an empty lane, everything flows smoothly again. That's exactly what changing your Wi-Fi channel does. Especially on the 2.4 GHz band, only a few channels avoid overlapping interference. The best channels are usually Channel 1, Channel 6, and Channel 11. Choosing the least crowded one can significantly improve your connection quality. But first, you need to see which channels nearby networks are using. This is where a Wi-Fi Analyzer app becomes incredibly useful. You can download one for free on Android or iPhone. These apps scan nearby Wi-Fi networks and show which channels are crowded. Once you open the app, you'll usually see a graph filled with overlapping signals from nearby routers. Your goal is simple: find the channel with the least overlap and interference. For example, if channels 1 and 6 are crowded, but channel 11 looks mostly clear, then channel 11 is probably your best choice. For 5 GHz networks, there are usually many more available channels, which means less congestion overall. This step only takes a minute, but it can make a huge difference in real-world speed and stability. Now let's actually change the setting. To change your Wi-Fi channel, you'll need access to your router settings. Open any web browser on your phone or computer. Then type your router's IP address into the address bar. Common addresses include 192.168.0.1 or 192.168.1.1. A login page should appear. If you've never changed the login before, the default username and password may be printed on the router label. Once logged in, go to Wireless Settings. You may see separate settings for 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. Find the option labeled Channel. If it's currently set to Auto, change it to the cleaner channel you found earlier using the Analyzer app. Then save or apply the settings. Your Wi-Fi may briefly disconnect while the router restarts the wireless network. Once it reconnects, test your internet speed again. In many cases, people notice faster browsing, smoother streaming, lower gaming latency, and fewer random dropouts. All from changing just one setting. Want even better Wi-Fi performance? Here are a few extra tips. First, place your router in a central, open location. Avoid hiding it behind TVs, furniture, or walls. Second, keep routers away from microwaves, cordless phones, and Bluetooth devices that may create interference. Third, use the 5 GHz band whenever possible for faster speeds, especially for gaming, streaming, and video calls. And finally, keep your router firmware updated. Manufacturers often release updates that improve speed, security, and stability. These small adjustments can noticeably improve your overall internet experience.